What if I told you that social anxiety is nothing but a lie we've been telling ourselves? Now, before you dismiss this statement, let me share a bit of my own story. Growing up, I was the kid who would rather eat lunch alone than risk the perils of the cafeteria. I was the one who would spend hours rehearsing a conversation in my head, only to remain silent when the moment came. I was the person who would turn down invitations, avoid social gatherings, and retreat into my own shell, all because of a fear. A fear of judgment, of rejection, of not being good enough. I was trapped in the throes of social anxiety, or at least, that's what I told myself. But here's the twist. What I thought was a deep-seated, immutable part of me was in fact a lie that I had been feeding myself, building over time with every missed opportunity, every uncomfortable silence, every imagined catastrophe. I believed I was inherently flawed, destined to live in the shadows of my own fear, but the truth was far from it. I was not a victim of some innate condition, but rather a prisoner of my own thoughts. Thoughts that whispered, "You're not good enough. You're going to mess up. They're all going to laugh at you." Thoughts that were not based on reality, but on irrational fears and limiting beliefs. These thoughts, these lies, held me back from experiencing life to its fullest, from forming meaningful relationships, from expressing myself openly and fearlessly. But the moment I recognized them for what they were, lies, was the moment I began to reclaim my life. And the lie that held me back is the same one that might be holding you back right now. Here's the truth. Social anxiety is often a result of irrational thoughts, negative self-talk, and limiting beliefs. Now let's take a deep dive into the science behind social anxiety. Studies have shown that social anxiety stems from a fear response that is often misplaced. Picture this. You're in a room full of people and your palms are sweaty, your heart is racing, and your mind is filled with a whirlwind of thoughts. This is your body's response to perceived danger, a survival mechanism from our caveman days when encountering a wild beast meant a fight-or-flight response. But in today's world, a social gathering isn't a life-threatening situation, is it? This fear response is often exaggerated due to negative self-talk. We all have this little voice in our heads that comments on our actions and thoughts. In people with social anxiety, this voice tends to be overly critical, constantly feeding the mind with thoughts like, "They're judging you," or "You're making a fool of yourself." However, here's the kicker. These thoughts are often far from reality. Research shows that we tend to overestimate how negatively people perceive us, a phenomenon known as the spotlight effect. We believe we're the center of attention, while in reality, most people are too occupied with their thoughts to scrutinize us. Furthermore, limiting beliefs play a pivotal role in fueling social anxiety. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm always awkward in social situations," you're setting yourself up for failure. These beliefs are not inherent traits, but rather self-imposed barriers that can be broken down. Think of it like this. Imagine you're wearing a pair of glasses that make everything seem scary and intimidating. These glasses represent your irrational fears and limiting beliefs. Now, what do you think would happen if you took off these glasses? You'd see the world in a completely different light. The lie of social anxiety is not a life sentence. It can be broken down. It's all about challenging these irrational thoughts, confronting your negative self-talk, and shattering these limiting beliefs. Once you do that, you'll see that the world isn't as scary as you've made it out to be. Confidence is not something you acquire. It's something you already have. This might seem like a bold statement, especially if you've spent a long time feeling anything but confident. But let's peel back the layers and reveal the truth that's been hidden beneath the surface. Confidence isn't about puffing out your chest or always having the right answer. It's about understanding and accepting who you are, flaws and all. It's about self-acceptance. Accepting yourself means acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses and recognizing that both are an integral part of who you are. It's about acknowledging that you're a work in progress, and that's perfectly okay. Next is self-compassion. It's about being kind to yourself even when you stumble or fall. It's about understanding that everyone makes mistakes and has setbacks. It's not about being perfect. It's about being human. When you start treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you show others, you'll start to see a shift in your self-perception. Now let's talk about challenging negative thought patterns. This is where the real work begins. It's about taking those negative thoughts that say, "I can't," or "I'm not good enough," and turning them on their heads. Instead of feeding into these thoughts, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or holding me back? If it's the latter, it's time to let it go. Here's a practical exercise you can try. When a negative thought pops into your head, acknowledge it, then consciously replace it with a positive affirmation. For example, if you think, I'm going to mess this up, replace it with, I'm going to do my best. It might feel strange at first, but with practice, it will become second nature. Remember, confidence isn't something you need to chase or strive for. It's already within you, waiting to be uncovered. It's about shaking off the dust of self-doubt and revealing the diamond of self-assurance that's been there all along. You don't have to get confidence. You just have to uncover it. Now let's break down the wall of social anxiety brick by brick. First off, remember that managing negative self-talk is key. When an anxious thought pops up, don't let it spiral. Instead, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought based on fact or fear? More often than not, you'll find yourself dealing with an unfounded fear. Next, reframe those anxious thoughts. Instead of thinking, I'm going to mess up and everyone will laugh, try, I'm going to give it my best shot and learn from the experience. It's all about perspective, and shifting yours can make all the difference. Now, on to developing self-assurance. Confidence isn't something you're either born with or you're not. It's a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows stronger with exercise. So start small. Speak up in a meeting, join a new club, or simply strike up a conversation with a stranger. Every small success will build your confidence. Building social skills is another crucial step. Remember, social skills, like any other skills, can be learned and improved. Practicing active listening, maintaining eye contact, and showing empathy can go a long way in improving your interactions with others. Let's look at an example. Imagine you're at a networking event and you're feeling anxious. Instead of succumbing to negative self-talk like, I'm not interesting enough, challenge that thought. Reframe it to, I have unique experiences and perspectives to share. Then, strike up a conversation, put your active listening skills to use, and show genuine interest in the other person. This approach not only helps you manage your anxiety, but also turns the interaction into a meaningful conversation. Finally, remember that progress is a journey, not a destination. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. So, celebrate your victories, learn from your setbacks, and keep pushing forward. With these strategies, you can start to dismantle the lie of social anxiety. Remember, social anxiety is a lie that you have the power to overcome. We've journeyed through this misconception together, shedding light on the truth. It's not an unchangeable aspect of your personality, but a self-imposed barrier that can be dismantled. We've debunked the myth of social anxiety as a legitimate condition. It's often a result of irrational thoughts, negative self-talk, and limiting beliefs. We've looked at it closely and seen it for what it truly is. Not an inherent trait, but a manifestation of our fears and insecurities. We've also unveiled the truth about confidence. It's not an elusive quality that only a few chosen ones possess. It's an innate part of you, waiting to be rediscovered and nurtured. Confidence is about self-acceptance, self-compassion, and challenging negative thought patterns. It's about believing in your worth and capabilities, even when the outside world tries to convince you otherwise. We've shared practical exercises and techniques to start tapping into your authentic confidence. We've provided a step-by-step action plan to overcome social anxiety and embrace confidence in various social situations. We've covered topics like managing negative self-talk, reframing anxious thoughts, developing self-assurance, and building social skills. But remember, knowledge without action is like a car without fuel. It won't take you anywhere. It's now up to you to implement these strategies and techniques. It might not be easy, and it won't happen overnight. But with patience, practice, and perseverance, you can break free from the shackles of social anxiety and step into your true confidence. We invite you to join us in this journey. Share your experiences, progress, or any additional tips in the comments section. Let's build a supportive community where we can learn from each other and grow together. You have the power to break free from social anxiety. Start today, and don't forget to share your progress and experiences in the comments below.